Hello, today is July 10th, 2024. This is SIG Node CI weekly meeting. Welcome, everybody. We have a few items on agenda, but today we want to concentrate on bug triage. So let's go through agenda items relatively quickly. Anish, you posted a few bugs about test failures, right?
Yeah, just FYI, I saw that swap Ubuntu jobs, they are timing out because the test suite is timing out. And then I saw some new tests that were failing consistently. One is pods PID limit test. And there's an home killer test that's failing consistently in EC2 jobs. I'll take a look after this meeting and dig deeper into that.
Okay, so there is.
Yes, so it is about this end-to-end test. I only have. I'm just worried because I mean, if we want to meet this 132 milestone for beta for in-place pod vertical scaling, I think the end-to-end underscore node tests are important to have it. So this PR has been commented, and I think I satisfied all the comments. And it's low risk because it doesn't have any dedicated pipeline. We use it actually for our tests with on-demand calling the CI that we have approved 2 weeks ago. So I'm just, yeah, it would be nice to have it, this end-to-end underscore node, because this will allow other developers which work within place pod vertical scaling and other features to be able to test on top of it. As it is now, without it, it's not possible to do tests, some tests, because either you can do it with unit test or with end-to-end pod resize test that we have today. So, yeah.
Okay, I can take a look. It's a huge file.
Yes, it is actually, thanks to Tim. It's actually has been refactored all the pod resize, but yeah, please take your time, and I would appreciate if, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Let me self-assign. The next one is for me. I just wanted to highlight this. We discussed one time ago, like on this group, that device plugin test are hard to test edge cases because sample device plugin needs to be adjusted, and it's not everything you can do in sample device plugin. So I created this new way to test some device plugin by emulating device plugin in process. And yeah, it works okay. My biggest worry right now is that the tests I am adding are quite slow because I need to wait for timeouts and validate that after timeout it's still doing what it expects to do. Like device plugin, device manager has some logic with graceful termination and graceful wait that needs to be tested. So yeah, I mean, framework works. It just need to decide whether we want to run auto slow tests in the same pipeline as all other tests. If you're interested, please take a look. And we discussed with Francesca that we need both approaches. Yeah, do you want to speak?
Yeah. So I agree with you with that both approaches are beneficial. The only problem I have here is that I would like us as a community to avoid, because, it's somehow easier for the very reason you said to, okay, let's just, implement this way. But to use a real image plugin has benefits for the quality and for the stability for the project, because the closer you get to the actual, to the real deployment, the closest it's realistic, the more the better is the signal. So what I'm trying to say is that I think we need some direction from the community, some strong guidelines. So when, for example, when reviewers say, okay, this is a clear case on which this approach is better, like probably this one, but not okay. It's not, you know, free card from everyone. Okay, let's just jump to this approach and try to still use or alternatively agree as a community that okay, we tried the image, the separate sample device plugin doesn't really work out. From now on is deprecated. But I'm worried about somehow, you know, bending the rules and using the apparently easier approach for everything, even when the older, let's say, approach doesn't make sense. This is my real only concern. After that, it's minor stuff which we can easily work out.
Yeah, I agree. And it's really pity that we losing this real GPU device plugin test as well, because it's also beneficial for everybody to have it tested as well. Like closer to reality we get, easier it is to reason about quality of a product.
Exactly.
I don't know, like maybe
This,
what I can do is to put some, I mean, before discussion with community, we can put a big reminder on top of the file saying like this approach should not be used lightly. Like you really need to, you should, I mean, you really should have a need to do that instead of just using sample device plugin.
I think this is not blocking for the feature to go in. I mean, this is not something that must be done before we merge and we move on, but this is something that I would call it like a GA blocker, if that would be a feature, you know. So, okay, now it's okay, it's no bother, but this has to be addressed in some way. And disclaimer helps, but I really feel we need a stance to the community. I don't want to take too much time. We can talk next time. But I really feel we need to take a stance to the community. So, for example, other reviewers, which maybe are not attending this meeting very often, are very aware. And I believe this should be pretty much the exception. And what you're doing is correct because you know you want to test error, but it's very challenging to do with the real device plugin. So okay, this is the exception, not the rule. This is my feeling. But okay, let's address this in maybe another next week.
Yeah, and I mean, whatever rule we will create, we will need to do the same for DRA. And for DRA today, we only have the approach that similar to what I created because it was easier, as you said. So DRA.
I think we agree this is a larger topic and this is okay for this instance, but we need to have a better agreement as a community. So let's keep this on the conversation going, I believe.
Okay. So with that, I suggest we
Just
don't
one
look at.
thing.
Oh, go ahead.
Another way to like solve it is to make it easier to work with the image, and then you don't need like this kind of tests. I don't know how hard is it, but I don't believe it's not possible. So that's my 2 cents. Thanks.
I'm sorry, what is not possible?
I think it's like we need just to look at and investigate why is it so hard to work with this sample plugin image. Is there anything that could be done like to simplify it? Or maybe I just don't understand. So what exactly is not possible to do with the current approach? So why this new approach is needed? I mean, it's the same plugin, right? So you just run it as a function or Go routine, whatever. And the current approach is to run it from the image. So I suspect that like all this updating an image and populating the repository with it, like this part is actually quite hard, right? Francesca, What do you think about it?
Okay, so in an ideal world, everything we do, given enough effort, could be done with the sample device plugin. I think this is pretty much a given. For the sake of practicality and to have a more robust, in the sense of less flaky infrastructure, I do see the benefit of the current approach being taken. For myself, I think that could have possible with the sample device plugin, but I agree that will take more effort. So in the context of having a very well-defined use cases in which, okay, we want to test the error path and it's more practical, I agree with the practicality approach, not the perfect pure approach, which could be in the sample device plugin. But if we go that route, I think we should, and this is actually my initial comment, this should be the exception, not the rule. And to make so, simplifying the modification of the sample device plugin, having, for example, better, simpler way to update or a clearer path, that could totally help. And maybe in the longer term, we could replace those tests with tests based on the sample device plugin, because everyone in the DRA community says, okay, classic device plugins are not going away. This is still supported, so why not? So long story short, I'm trying to be practical here. It's a series of trade-off to evaluate.
Yeah. I think ultimately you can always run some gRPC, like second gRPC server in sample device plugin, and test will connect to this gRPC server and emulate whatever I do in this approach. But it's really hard to come up with a exact gRPC server you need to run and like how everything will be connected. Yeah, it just way more effort. Okay. Yeah, that's covered. And with that, I really want to go to bug triage because I have 31 bugs and hopefully we can triage most of them today. Anish, do you want to take over?
Yeah. The old pod log file is not deleted from the logs directory. In the logs directory, many old log files are not deleted in a timely manner. As a result, the disk space is used up. I think there should be only one old log file in this path. See, okay. SIG Node. Looks for the issue. Can you verify if the container log max size and max container log max file settings are correctly configured? If these settings are not configured correctly, then Kubelet may not delete the old files. See. So yeah, Harshal is looking at this.
Yeah, so if you see if they are using container log files correctly, then you expect this is expected behavior, right? That's what I concluded from looking at it.
Yep.
Let me comment at that. I should have commented. It looks like it's working as intended.
Anish, can you, I mean, we can either close it saying like, please reopen if it's not working as expected. Yeah, that's easier.
Ephemeral containers, std out return to container logs. The std out, the standard output of commands running in the ephemeral containers started with kubectl debug interactive TDY, including the echo of commands entered by users is returned to the container's log file where it can be displayed with kubectl logs and picked up by login file ingestion. It is expected that by passing --tty, the standard file descriptors would be attached to kubectl and not the log files. This behavior, this difference in behavior to kubectl exec interactive TTY surprises users who are debugging containers and may inspect the values of files in the environment.
Okay, hold on here.
Peter, we have really hard time hearing you. How is your
Sorry. Hi, is this better?
Yes.
Is this any better? Can you hear me?
Yeah, Peter, it's
I
better.
can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, so I commented on this, obviously. I'm pretty sure that this is also working as intended. I just need to, I mean, I obviously didn't respond to the other comment, but
I think, Peter, we are losing you.
sorry, I'm trying to read and process live.
Yeah, I have a vague memory of this was discussed just recently in one of the other bugs. I'm trying to search for it. I mean, clearly it's SIG security. Like I think it's not SIG Node. If SIG security is okay with that, then we're fine. Well, let's say it's working as expected and assigned to SIG security if they have any other comments.
Yeah, I mean, I think from a security perspective, it's almost, you can almost make an argument that it's better that it works this way, because then you can audit what each container does as an admin. Like the container logs aren't accessible to a normal Kubernetes user. You have to be able to mount a volume, and that's a privileged operation, or mount a host path. So I think this is both working as intended and also, I think, like correct from a security standpoint.
Pod stuck at run state due to unexpected skip of tail manager work. We shut down the worker node that our pods is running on. The pod stays in running state and never change again. We expected the pod to be updated to terminating. Not sure if this is a graceful shutdown or graceful shutdown. Strange log sequence was found in controller manager's log. Time no execute taint manager is deleting pod, this pod deletion, canceling timed worker queue, adding time worker queue item DPA infrastructure 0. Let's see. We noticed that we had restarted the node once at around 3:28, and that triggered the eviction of pod as expected. But when we shut down the node again at around 5 p.m., the taint manager skipped the work due to the same key found in workers map. The controller manager was never restarted or changed leader. The log is ridiculous, but after looking at the code, we did find a way that a key stays in workers map after canceling. In this part of code generates a worker function that would be called in work. Taint manager will run a function to delete pods from API server, which would trigger a pod update and lead to cancel work. This doesn't seem to be related to SIG Node. Maybe.
Seems like there was a PR. What happened to that?
Yeah, it's closed. Yeah, it was closed because it was inactive. Yeah, but the change seems to be in node lifecycle. Okay.
Does the PR also references the same bug, or does it try to fix some other bugs? That 110401 is the same? No, it goes somewhere else.
Yeah.
And what happened to this bug? Is it still why it's closed when the PR is not closed?
Yeah, it was closed due to inactive because it was inactive, I think.
But there were no any objections, or the behavior is confirmed. No, there's no discussion at all. Oh, the same person. Okay.
Yeah, no discussion. Yeah, there's another bug. Sorry.
The question is it node related?
The fix in the PR, it's in node lifecycle controller. Is it owned by SIG Node?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then yeah, maybe yes. Should I reopen the CL? Any suggestion? Or
If it just closed because of time, or it went stale, then it doesn't hurt. And maybe we can tag reviewers on Signal reviewers on that PR so that people spend time on reviewing it. So again, do you think that would be a good idea?
Is it node related at all? It feels that it's only taint manager on scheduler, right?
I thought the node controller is generally SIG node area. I'm not sure where it's a little gray area there.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. So the fix is in a node controller. So
Okay.
Anish, I think for now we could just reopen, in my opinion, and tag PR reviewers or SIG Node reviewers to take a look.
Let's triage bug as accepted then. If we... Yeah, thank you. I mean, PR clearly need the test.
Yep.
Can you please triage bug as accepted as well?
Yes. The node is in the not ready state while the pod is still running. Node dynamic, so I think it's a node name is healthy again. Removing all dates, but not update ready status. Okay. Node did not go into case current ready status. I see. As a result, the node is in the not ready state while the pod is still running. Okay. And node condition changed from unknown to not ready. I see. Okay. Is Docker daemon running? Okay.
What version of Kubernetes is this? They're still using
Yeah,
Docker?
they haven't added any details. We have a fix. I have a hard time understanding this. Sorry.
From what I could gather, it says that it's trying to say that the node lifecycle controller it's not updating the node status correctly. So the node status goes to not ready state, but the pod is still running there. It has not been evicted. Is what I could gather from here. But what does the fix look like? What are they doing in the fix? It was linked to a PR, right, at the bottom?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's this PR.
Yeah, here. So they're just getting all assigned to node.
I think so.
Not ready.
It's marking.
So essentially, if the node is down, the pod should not be running there. So they're trying to fix that discrepancy there.
Yeah.
This could be worth looking into. I'm not sure whether it's a valid bug or not, but
Yeah, I don't know how desirable this is. So if node self maps, like self updates the status to not ready, like do we have to update pods immediately? And how fast we need to update pods to not ready?
yeah, that's the point I think they are driving, that they see the node is not ready, but the pod running on that node is running. So they're trying to fix that. But
And
I get your
it can
point.
be fine because somebody restarted containerd and containerd restart took time, but while containerd restarting, all the pods are running fine. There is no issues with that.
Should we
And
ask?
readiness probes running, HTTP readiness probes. So why wouldn't we just keep pods running while containerd being restarted? We don't want to accept new pods, but we find running existing ones.
I agree. Are they specifically talk about node shutting down, or they just node not ready in general? Node not ready. They're not saying anything about shutdown. Hmm.
Yeah, I think we need to comment that it seems to be working as expected unless they have more details.
So it also depends on what the toleration. And yeah,
If I remember correctly, by default it takes 5 minutes, right? 300 seconds.
depends on if it's a daemon set, I think. Yeah. When a deployment selects a node with the kubelet service not running as the node name, the pods will remain in the pending state, then move to terminating, and new pods will be continuously created in a loop, resulting in a large number of terminating pods that cannot be terminated. Okay.
I mean, it's really hard to get kubelet service not running and scheduler still select this node because node will be not ready quite soon. Because at least wouldn't be updated.
So it
Oh
looks
yeah,
like
I mean,
they are
they
setting.
they're shooting themselves in the feet and expecting good behavior, good outcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's close this working as expected.
A high cube pod C group CPU weight shares stars kernel threads on many core systems. Originally, this issue manifested as poor performance being observed in Red Panda, but for the ease of reproducing, we talk about FIO below. Running FIO on large servers inside of Kubernetes results in less IOPS. 2x example below than running it outside of Kubernetes natively on the host. This is because by the C group settings as created by Kubernetes effectively starving important kernel threads handling interrupts direct IO handling. Kubernetes creates a C group hierarchy in which the pods are going to run. In the root, it creates the kubepod C group. The C group CPU dot shares weight parameter will be set to n times default, which is 1024 for V1 and 100 for V2, where n is the number of cores on the system. Okay. think potentially system result is being subtracted from this too. As a consequence, anything running in Kubernetes pod will be a lot higher priority than kernel threads, which by default
This is what we discussed yesterday on SIG Node meeting. Sorry.
So it is kind of related, but not exactly. So this bug is advocating that the root C group like slash to have higher CPU share. Now that is completely out of Kubernetes control. It's what we were talking yesterday was setting the CPU shares on system slice. And Kubernetes slice we anyway share, but they are saying here that you should set it on slash like the root C group as well. I kind of understand this, but how do you? They can just do it themselves. The Kubernetes, do you think should go and modify root C group? Yesterday you heard Derek and Don, right? They were hesitant even to modify system slice, and now you're talking even one more level up on system root itself. So maybe assign to me. Maybe I'll have a discussion with these guys here, Anish. Yep. Yep.
after the kubelet restart, the ready state of the pod should not change. A pod with startup probe or readiness probe has been ready. It will be used as backends for services. After the kubelet restarted, the pods will be marked as not ready. An additional startup probe needs to be executed. After the kubelet restarted, the ready state of the pods should not change. The ready status should only be false if the probe fails.
I think it's a known behavior that we want to fix. We even had an open PR for that.
Is this the bug you're referring to?
Yeah, I think let me post in the chat. This one. Yeah, this probably is the same. Yeah.
Yeah. Should we
Yeah, you
close
can dedupe
that?
this all of them in the same one. Just pick one. Oldest one, I guess.
Should I close this as duplicate of this?
Yeah, say like this already tracked by Azabak, and yeah, I also posted another one in the chat.
Okay.
Do they have a PR opened for that? Or just a link to the Azabak?
Yeah, in this there is a PR. I'm not sure what's the status of this one is.
Wait, this one is about label is not much pod. What is
Correct.
it? Oh, sorry, I thought it's about probe taints. Sorry about it.
I feel. So should I mark this it as duplicate of this one?
No, this is about probes.
Oh, I see. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, in this case, I don't see any label or label changes.
So this one is at with triage right now, right?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, this is the one we are triaging right now.
Okay. And this is about probes?
So they are restarting kubelet, and
Yeah, so
after
this is about
kubelet,
probe. Yeah. So if this is about probes, then it's duplicate of what I posted in the chat.
yeah.
Because what they linked there as a bug, it's probably around something else.
In pod, in place pod vertical scaling, race condition setting pod resize status. The kubelet updates the pod status by first generating the pod status based on its internal representation and then merging that with the latest status from the API based on whether the kubelet should be the source of truth for these fields. Currently, the pod reside status is not synced with the API server status, which means that whatever the kubelet thinks the resize status should be will override whatever pod resize status is currently stored in the API server. These can lead to a race condition where the kubelet has not yet seen a resize update and clobbers the proposed resize status. I'm not sure exactly what the right behavior is here, but it probably needs to be
Yeah.
an intelligent state transition.
I think there is a PR which handles this issue. So I put it in the chat. So it would be nice to check, put as a comment and check if this fits.
Sorry.
I think it's a question mark. I think it is, but it would be nice to ask. Thanks.
Let stop watching bots from API server. We have encountered several instances where certain AKS nodes fail to respond to pod updates. This issue includes terminating pods not receiving SIG term notification, new pods not being started as scheduled. After reviewing the API requests to the API server during one of these incidents, we noticed that the kubelet on the affected node stopped watching pods before the issue happened. Despite this, the kubelet continued to report themselves as healthy via heartbeat. Kubelet cannot recover from this non-responding state by itself. The issue can be mitigated by restarting the kubelet on the affected node.
Is there any more details here? Seems to be
They don't have any repro.
no repo, no kubelet logs. Yeah, can you mark it as kind support? You do slash kind support. Say like you probably will be better off with AKS support. Yeah, and say that without any information we cannot debug it. Like so much information is missing here. Like kubelet logs or such. Can you close as well? Yeah. Kind support means close.
Pod memory request equal to limit triggers page cache reclamation and service jitter on nodes. When deploying pods on a Kubernetes node with memory request equal to memory limit, despite no memory overcommitment on the host, scheduling a new pod triggers memory reclamation, leading to service jitter for some pods. Monitoring indicates that page cache reclamation is being triggered. Before the issue occurs, the node has sufficient memory requests available for scheduling the pods, and the host memory is not overcommitted. Comparison of RSS via PS on host or Docker stats and container memory usage bytes from CAdvisor metrics, which are derived from C group, shows a significant difference. Does anyone RSS is PS? I see. 14 gigs versus 32 gigs per element. This discrepancy can be attributed to RSS not including page cache, while memory usage in bytes does. If the host is not overcommitted and there are sufficient memory requests available for scheduling, why does scheduling a new trigger page cache reclamation? Given that the limit already constrains the total memory usage, why does this issue arise?
Doesn't it sound like that old issue that keeps coming up where Kubernetes accounts cache memory used by containers into scheduling, and then users claim that cache should not be considered? I think it just rings the bell that there were quite a number of old bugs that we had to close down in a similar tone. Essentially, we account for cache, and if if that real usage plus cache goes over the limit, we evict the pods. This is on the same line, if I'm not wrong. There was a reason given for why we account for cache, though. I forgot where I have to find out somewhere.
I don't remember this bug, so
Do you remember it?
no, I don't. I remember we are not accounting for some memory that we, I mean, for some. I mean, we
What?
accounted for something we shouldn't account, but I don't remember about page cache. Like I remember slab memory that we account for, which we shouldn't.
Maybe I'm mistaken. I remember vaguely that there was a bug about, or bugs rather, about pods getting evicted, and they keep showing on the node that the memory, sufficient memory exists, and still the pods are getting evicted. And the reason was that we were accounting some sort of page cache or something like that. But let's see if I can find something on that. Maybe I'm mistaken, getting mixed up in some different bugs. Yeah. Can assign this to me if you want, Manish.
Should we triage it as needs information? Like, do we need information, or just need to read it carefully again?
Just need to see if I'm going to see if this is similar to the older thing that I'm
Okay.
trying to recollect.
And yeah. I mean, thinking about it, if you account for some memory twice, you shouldn't get into eviction situation. I don't know. Okay.
I think as Sotair is, and I just saw your chat message.
Yeah, this is a small fix, so I have confirmed it. I tested it, and since we are checking issues, I think it's I have a PR which fixes this. Yeah.
It's already marked as triage accepted, so just move it to the proper column.
Okay. Sorry. In place pod vertical scaling resources and pod status are never updated if event plague is enabled. Evented plague is enabled. If evented plague is enabled, resources and pod status are never updated when pod is resized. See, they have a repro script as well and some root cause. Should we accept this? It looks like they have like repro and root cause
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah, I think I'm following it as well. They have duplicated as well the issue.
Oh. Sorry, which bug is like duplicated?
Let's just triage accepted. It seems that Sotiris is looking at it. Thank you.
Yeah, you can add me CC. I will add myself. No worries. Yeah.
And we are at time. Yeah, we still have plenty of bugs.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe yeah, if anybody have energy to triage offline, please do as well. Otherwise we'll continue next week. So before code freeze, we will find if there are any problems with current kubelet. Thank you, everybody. Bye.